Hello ladies and gentlemen, once again this is Jeremy Smith, Photog J the Great. As I was telling you guys in the past, with a lot of the cameras and reviews we've done, a lot of the cameras have really needed me to spend more time with them to really get a good feel. And that definitely applies most to mirrorless cameras. So that's why, since the last time I talked with you guys, I went and I got myself a Sony NEX5N. I purchased just the body right now, and I've been trying to decide which lenses I like the most. So I've been playing with a few different ones. The lens that's been the most compelling so far is this Zeiss lens. This is the 24mm 1.8 E-mount lens. It's just an absolutely fantastic lens. It's extremely sharp when shot wide open, and it's built extremely well. I feel like in the future we're going to see a lot more mirrorless cameras. There's some pretty strong rumors right now that the future generations of Sony E-mount cameras are actually going to be mirrorless as well. I've always felt like the translucent mirror technology was kind of a stopgap. I felt like it was something that they did, for the time being, but I've always felt that Sony had something much more compelling up their sleeves. And I think that in the future, we're going to see a lot more cameras that just completely get rid of the mirror. They won't all necessarily be as small as this NEX5N, but I believe that this type of camera is going to be a very big deal in coming years. So I've decided to explore this a lot more. I have a project coming up that I've been working on where I need a very small camera that will produce extremely high quality photos and video, and the 5N definitely fits the bill. I was a little bit concerned testing this lens on the 5N. I actually, as silly as it sounds, I actually kind of felt like, I almost felt like this lens was a bit too good for this body. But after testing this lens on the NEX7 and the NEX6 and then the 5N, I'm pleased to report that I saw the same stellar quality across all the bodies. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this lens, and then after that we'll take a look at some of the samples. Taking a quick close-up look at the lens here. Of course it has a very nice lens hood here. I'm actually going to leave it mounted on the camera for this. But yeah, the lens hood on this is actually plastic at the end, and then it actually has a metal ring. So put that down for a moment. There's actually this part that says Sony right here. That's kind of this matte finish. It's actually just a metal ring placed over the plastic hood itself. It's your fairly standard bayonet type hood. So of course it bayonets in position. Just lines up. Bayonets in position like that. And of course you can also reverse mount it just like that right there. So pretty straightforward. This lens has an absolutely beautiful finish on it. It's of course all metal. I mean, it's extremely durable. You guys can actually hear that if I kind of knock my finger on it there. So yeah, very durable lens. I mean, it's quite the impressive looking lens. Even if I didn't take a single photograph with it, I mean, as silly as this sounds, I could just look at this lens all day. Very beautiful. 49mm filter size on this. I'll go ahead and turn on the camera so that will open up. So yeah, very nice looking lens. It is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, so of course be sure to just have your lens cloth handy. So yeah. Okay, take this off. I guess if I had to find anything negative to say about this lens, I really hope that Sony comes out with more lenses like it. And that's not really necessarily a negative thing against this lens. It's just that this lens is so good. I just wish that as I mentioned before, I've shot a lot of the different Sony E-mount lenses, and there's a lot of other good lenses too. But this lens is just so exceptional that I just wish that there were a lot more lenses in Sony's E-mount lineup that were the same quality as this one. So hopefully that'll happen very, very soon. But yeah, absolutely beautiful lens. So I've definitely been very, very impressed with it. I'd definitely like it if Sony came out with a whole series of E-mount primes. Like also, of course, a 35 would be nice. Something a little bit wider, like maybe a 20mm would be nice also. Actually, I think they did come out with some new lenses. I think they did come out with like a 19 or something. Anyways, we'll have to take a look at those at a later date. So yeah, very, very beautiful lens.
Okay, I'm going to show you guys a few of these images. Just previously I mentioned that it would be nice if Sony came out with more fast primes. And yeah, I realize they have lenses like the 35, 1.8. What I really meant to say there was I hope that they come out with more Zeiss primes. Of course, Zeiss themselves, which there is a bit of a difference between lenses that are Sony that are Zeiss and then just Zeiss lenses. But anyways, Zeiss, they came out with a 19mm lens and one other lens I believe as well here recently. But it'd be nice if Sony would come out with more also. So anyways, I'm sure they will in the future. We'll go ahead and take a look at a few of these images. These are not the most inspiring photos. For the time being, I've decided to kind of show you guys some samples from different lenses and things like that, but as I have an opportunity to spend more time with a given lens, I'll come back and provide an update. So, for example, on the Sigma 18 and 35 that we just looked at recently, I'm going to be updating you guys on that one pretty soon, and I'm also going to update you guys on the 35mm 1.4 Sigma lens as well. I actually just used that on a shoot recently. So anyways, look out for those update videos coming. We'll take a look at some of the images here. As you would expect, this lens is absolutely beautiful, even when shot wide open. You can see here we're at 1.8, and yeah, just absolutely beautiful results, even on the 5N. So, not saying the 5N is bad, but just imagine what it would do if I had used the NEX7. I'll try not to humiliate too many of my coworkers. Even this nice selfie shot here. Not that I want to look at myself this close, but yeah. I'll save my coworkers some humiliation. But yeah, once again, shot wide open, very, very sharp. I don't think I'm pretty enough to be shot with a lens this sharp. Anyways. While I probably wouldn't, if you're buying a lens with a maximum aperture of 1.8, you may not necessarily be buying it with landscape photography in mind, but as you would expect, this lens is very, very good there. And these are raw files straight out of the NEX5N, so I just pretty much open them in Lightroom 4 at the default settings, so absolutely no changes have been made to these at all in terms of developed settings and that sort of thing. Even at f5.6, which isn't terribly closed down, notice that even our edges are looking very sharp as well. There's some birds down there. I guess the only downside of this lens is it is of course a little bit larger on the NEX bodies, but definitely not awkwardly so. It's certainly a lot smaller than something like the 18 to 200. Some will complain about the price. I mean, this lens is roughly 11. I believe it's about $1,100 USD, so it's definitely not cheap. But we all know how that goes. High quality lenses are going to be expensive, whether we like it or not, unfortunately. So let's see. I shot this one at f8, looks like. I took some other shots of some of these scenes too. I'm getting ready to do a little bit of experimenting with HDR. Traditionally, I haven't done a whole lot with that. That might be the subject of a future video coming up. This one shot at f4. The wind was blowing these flowers about a bit, but even so, still lots and lots of detail here. Random shots, I know. Interesting, I shot this one at 2.8. I guess I just had to mix up things a bit. Let's see what the corners look like at 2.8. Focus is fairly shallow. I was focusing over on these workers here. I'd say that's pretty sharp. All in all, really good lens. Definitely look for some updates on this lens in the future. I don't know. I definitely can't think of anything bad to say about it. That price tag might put me off a little bit, since I am fairly invested in all my Nikon lenses and such. Not really sure how much I would actually use a lens like this, but who knows? I may have to pick one of these up in the future also. But anyways, until future updates come, definitely don't forget to subscribe. Write me in the comments below. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know. If you like this video, like it, share it. Hopefully you will. Until next time, this is Jeremy Smith, Photog J the Great, signing off.